Well, hello there, beautiful people. This is Christine, your DIY craftaholic. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and if you are new, welcome to you as well. Today I have a thrift flip inspiration for you, so let's get crafting. For our first flip, this is my inspiration. I saw this on Pinterest, and I purchased this canister from the thrift store for $1.50. I've had this sitting down for a while now. And this mat I got from the 99-cent store. And I'll be using this folk art coffee latte to paint the surface. So I'm using my wire cutter to remove the handle. At first I wanted to keep that little piece because it was so hard to get off, but I eventually just removed everything. And then I took the sanding block and I'm sanding it down. I had already cleaned it properly, sanding off the sheen, giving it a real good sanding. And then I took a baby wipe and just removed the dust. And for the cover, I also sanded that down to remove the sheen because I'm going to be painting that as well. I chose a coffee latte shade to paint the ice bucket because it's almost close to the original color that's on there, and I didn't want it too white. And where I took the handles off, I used some hot glue to just cover the hole and use the sanding block to just smooth it down. You can also use some sort of filler for that as well. I didn't have any at hand, so I used the hot glue. Now for the cover, I mixed the paint with some Mod Podge and gave it one coat. And here I am mixing again the same paint with some more Mod Podge, and I'm going to give it a second coat. Now mixing it this way works both ways. The paint is going on and the Mod Podge is keeping it. Now when you're painting, you want to make sure that your brush stroke is going in the same direction and you are not going over what you already painted, because you run the risk of lifting the paint. If you have to go over where you have already painted, make sure to do that while the brush is still wet. Now that I set that aside to dry, and now I'm back working with the ice bucket and my mat. So I just placed it on the bucket and measured where I needed to cut, and then I cut that out, giving myself some room both at the top and the bottom. I'm going to use Eileen's tacky glue as well as some hot glue. Now the tacky glue wasn't holding it as much as I wanted it quickly enough, so that is why I'm using the hot glue. Hot glue for instant hold and the tacky glue for longer lasting hold. And although you're seeing the glue through the mat, it dried afterwards. So when I got to the end, I just glued that down. And for the top, I'm going to be turning that in and using the hot glue. And guys, you want to use a finger protector because hot glue is hot. So now the top is completed. I'm now going to work on the bottom. So I took the ruler and I'm just measuring the diameter on the inside. And then I cut out a piece of foam board. And I'm going to place that at the bottom, but I'm going to be gluing down the rest of the mat, making small slits as I go, so that it's easier to turn under. This little ice bucket, when I purchased it from the thrift store, I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do with it. And then I was searching for inspiration and I saw that piece from Pinterest and I decided, oh yes, I certainly will be doing this because I already have everything and I love how this turned out. If you have a thrift store in your area, I'd say go ahead and do the same. I am certain that you would find some great finds there. And now we're done. I'm now going to glue on the foam. And this is just for additional support and to cover up that ugly mat that's showing under there. Now when that was done, what I also did, which I did not mention, I took the same paint and I painted around the edge of the foam board. And to cover that, I am going in with some pieces of rope. And this rope I got from Temu, and I already used it on another project, and then this is what I had left. And see, it's perfect. Now for the top, I did not have any more rope, so I'm using the jute cord and double that and like twine it in my finger, and I'm gluing that down. I wanted to give it something to stand on, so I took 2 large wooden beads. I already painted them. Took my miter shear, and because I didn't want them splintering all over the place, I just cut them inside the bucket. Then flipped it over, and I'm going to glue them down. Here I'm just trying to decide the placement before I actually glue them on. You may be wondering why I didn't paint the inside of the bucket. Now, because it's not food safe, this ice bucket, I don't plan to use it as that. It's just for decorative purposes. I didn't think it was necessary to paint it, so I didn't. I thought it still needed a little embellishment, so I took this jewel border sticker that I had in my stash. I am just trying to put that on to see how it looks. Didn't like how it looked, and so I removed it. I had these little sunflowers, also from Dollar Tree. I placed it against the mat and it looked perfect, and I decided, yes, this is what I'll be using. So I took 2 of them, glued them on. This bundle of vine leaves, I'm not sure if this is ribbon or garland, but I cut 2 small pieces and glued those on, and that will be the stem for the sunflowers. And then I took one of my burlap bow, glue that in the middle between the 2 sunflowers, and this is done. Guys, let me know what you think about my Thrift Flip ice bucket. I love it. So this is another Third Thursday Thrift Flips Open Challenge, and it is hosted monthly by Elizabeth of Rustic Chicks Design and Tammy from the Rusted Willow, and our guest host this month is Loli from Loli D's Creation. And of course, we're doing thrift flips where each of us are flipping items that we purchased from the thrift store, and this is just to give you lots of inspiration to show you how you can flip items purchased from your thrift store into beautiful DIYs. I will leave the playlist in the description box below, as well as the links to the host channels. Be sure to check them out when you're done watching my video. And now let's jump into flips number 2 and 3. Now this is my thrift store footage a few months ago. Those black picture frame to the left you just saw, I already did those. I'll link that at the top where you can check those out. But those are the picture frame that I'll be using in this video. Now, I lost the footage, guys, because I did these and I set them aside because they didn't come out how I wanted them. And so I put them down for months now. So I decided to pick them back up. What I did, I painted it with the chalk paint, used textured mixture with the paint, some baking soda, and a sponge, and applied it to the surface after I painted it. Now this is what it looks like when I was done. I wasn't happy with it, and so I set it aside. So now what I'll be doing here is just go over the frames with some Mod Podge to seal that texture in so as to protect it. I just decided to resurrect these frames because I didn't want to destroy them. Now, after I applied the Mod Podge, it dawned on me that maybe I should distress them a little bit. So that is what I'm doing here. Just to let the original color shine through and not just have them looking all white. I took the sanding block and just sanded it down a little bit. I had this calendar from 2022 and I selected these sheets. It has scriptures on it and I decided to use a section with the scriptures. So I'll be working on both of these at the same time, and that is why I said flips 2 and 3. Now this one I wanted to keep the bench, and because the writing was above it, I had to cut them out separately, and I'll use the school glue and glue that at the top. If you are new to my channel or coming over from the playlist, welcome. I'm so happy you joined me today. Here on my channel, I do DIYs on a budget, dupes, look for less, and some occasional Dollar Tree shopping hauls and thrift flips. If you love budget-friendly DIYs like these and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit that notification bell. Hit it again and select all so YouTube notifies you whenever I upload new videos. Next, I took a baby wipe and I cleaned the glass as you saw. You have to make sure that you do that before you assemble. I did not film this part, but what I also did, I glued down the calendar sheet on pieces of cardstock. And then replace the back. For this backing, it did not have a piece that hold it in together. I had to use some glue, hot glue, to just tack down the bottom part of that so it doesn't fall out. This is how they look when they're all done. Now I needed to have something else, some other embellishment. So I cut off 2 little sprigs from this mini mum, and here I'm trying to decide where I needed to glue them on, but then I settled at the bottom, glued them down, and these 2 little frames are done. And here we are for the final reveal. I am super excited about how these turned out. My favorite is this flipped ice bucket. I also love the picture frames, but that's just me. Let me know what you think, guys. Don't forget to check out the host channels as well as the playlist down in my description box. I will also link the playlist under the video for easy access. And if you love budget-friendly content like this and you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and do so before you leave. And to keep watching, I will suggest this video right here or this playlist. And remember, Jesus loves you and so do I. Stay safe, my friends, until my next one. Bye.